Morning, everyone. I just want to take a moment to soak this in being here with you, because if you think about things in life that you can imagine would never happen to you, you are witnessing it here with me this morning. Congratulations to the class of 2021. I want to particularly thank the graduating class because you are captives to this talk. I want to thank President Green, the Colby Board of Trustees, and the college community for inviting me. I was totally shocked that my college was honoring me with an honorary degree. And more shocked when President Green asked me to deliver the baccalaureate address. Now, I have truly struggled with what in the world I could say to you to be worth your time this morning. The first thing I'd like to say is that I'm aware of the Trudeau pitfall. Gary Trudeau, the cartoonist and creator of Doonesbury, once quipped that commencement speeches were invented in the belief that outgoing college students should never be released into the world without being properly sedated. I will struggle to avoid the Trudeau pitfall this morning with a few thoughts, a couple of Colby stories, and most importantly, my hopes and wishes for you as you leave Mayflower Hill and move out into the world. It's an honor to be one of your 2021 classmates, as tomorrow each one of you will receive your well-earned degrees, and I will receive my entirely unexpected doctoral degree. I'm going to tell you something. This is something that it was not in my playbook at all. Look, I know that I have had my moments in life in making a difference in the world over the years. But I do not believe that I'm being honored because I've set the world on fire. I believe I'm being invited to join your class because of my unique Colby stories and perspectives and the way in which they have influenced my life, my work, and my contributions to Colby and society. Although I've got lots of great Colby stories, and I hope you do too, I only have time to share two of them with you this morning, in mindful of the Trudeau pitfall. Story number one, pay it forward. Again, I feel particularly close to you guys because not only is it so much fun being here with you, because it's also important because of what all of us have had to endure over this last year and a half because of COVID-19. Not only did the pandemic compromise activities and family plans for both last year's and this year's graduating class, it also curtailed my class of 1970's 50th reunion here on campus. Moreover, I was not able to participate in my own 1970 graduation ceremonies, so I'm getting a chance to do it here with you as a member of the class of 2021. Thank you. Okay, now, one of the consequences of having been, as the Colby press release states, an icon of activism was failing intermediate French in my senior year. So here's what happened. Between my required 10-hour scholarship job on campus, my job as the WTVL Sunday night DJ, my protesting Cambodia, my protesting Vietnam, and my unauthorized residence in Lorimer Chapel with 17 of my Black and Latinx classmates for 1 week in 1970. Because of all of these things, I missed too many French classes. Hence, my plan was to get a summer job, pass 2 years of intermediate French at Boston University, and matriculate into BU's program in African American Studies, all within 3 months. But I needed money. I needed money to pay intermediate French tuition. I needed money to rent a summer rental in Cambridge and Somerville. Earl H. Smith was the dean of students. He's the author of the authoritative book on Colby, Mayflower Hill. My big ask to Dean Smith was for Colby to lend me enough money to get started in the summer, with the promise to repay Colby by summer's end. I assured him that I would pass intermediate French, for which I'm sure he had serious doubts. I assured him that I would pass intermediate French, that I would earn my Colby degree in August, and enter grad school in September. I remember a very long pause in his office, after which he said, Colby College is not about the business of providing financial assistance to students who fail courses and who fail to graduate. But considering all of the trouble you have caused Colby, it would be criminal for you to go through life without a Colby degree. So no, Charles, Colby will not lend you the money. Colby will give you the money. And he did. The college's unexpected, and I suggest highly unusual, act of generosity changed my life. As I passed 2 semesters of intermediate French by the skin of my teeth, received my Colby BA in the mail in August, and started grad school in September. Thank you. But there is a moral to this story. Dean Smith had one condition: that I give back to Colby as I am able in the future. He did not ask me to pay Colby back, but to pay it forward, which I have tried to do over the last 50 years in as many ways as I am able. I hope that you find your own way to pay kindness forward as you leave Mayflower Hill and move on with your lives. I also hope that your Colby degree will be as impactful in your work and in your lives as mine has been for me. Colby story number 2, Dare Northward. In the fall of 1966, an outside advisor came to McKinley Tech, my high school, and she said, as David has mentioned, Charles, the best schools in the country are opening their doors to black students. I am here to help you identify schools that you are interested in. My immediate response to her was, is there any place in Maine? I've never known why. But I grew up with this fascination for Maine. Now, here I am, this black kid in Washington, D.C., whose primary and secondary education was all black. Washington, D.C. in the 60s was then truly Chocolate City. I really only saw white people on television. I had never left Washington, D.C. except for short bus trips to Atlantic City. But I reasoned that the only way that I would get to Maine would be to go to college in Maine. So I think that the advisor was somewhat surprised by my response, but she went to work for me to identify a college in Maine for me to attend. Now, given the kind of colleges that I was interested in, she started working with Colby, Bowdoin, and Bates. It didn't matter to me because I hadn't heard of any of them anyway. I had one condition, that I would not go to an all-male school. And at that time, that eliminated Bowdoin at that time. That left Colby and Bates. And Colby invited me to apply. I applied. I got accepted. And of course, Colby was number 1 on my list of acceptances because it was here in Maine. Nobody in my life had ever heard of Colby College. Not many people in my life had really heard of Maine. And virtually everybody in my life thought I was out of my mind for coming here. So I went to my college counselor, a very demanding Latin teacher named Mrs. Harvey, told her about my dilemma of wanting to come someplace so far away and to come to a school that nobody in my life had ever heard of. And she said, Charles, Colby College is one of the finest small schools in the nation. If you want to go. You will receive a fine education. Hence, I arrived here on Mayflower Hill, sight unseen, 55 years ago. I dared northward. I truly dared northward. Now, although Colby was my second choice behind the state of Maine, I did receive a fine education, French notwithstanding. And to this day, I spend as much time here in Maine as I possibly can. Consequently, I hope that you are as fond of Maine as I am. I mean, all of my friends, my family, whenever I live in Boston, I always drag them up to Maine. I hope that you have received as fine an education as Mrs. Harvey said I would. And I hope that you cultivate as many lifelong friends, lifelong Colby friends as you can. They will be lifelong gifts. You dared north 4 years ago. I hope that you continue to dare northward, taking meaningful risks for the rest of your life. In closing, I leave you with a number of perspectives that you may find helpful in the form of 3 wishes, 1 hope, and 3 mysteries. First, I wish you success. The kind of success admired by Winston Churchill, who said, "Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. It is the courage to continue that counts." Second, I wish you self-realization as suggested by Oscar Wilde, who left us with the admonition, "Be yourself. Everybody else is taken." I have this frame in my house in Brookline because I think it is simple, but it is masterful. Be yourself. Everybody else is taken. Third, I wish you peace, happiness. I wish you purpose, as suggested by Brian Dyson, former CEO of Coca-Cola, who observed, "Life is not a race, but a journey to be savored each step of the way, everybody." Life is not a race. It's a journey to be savored each step of the way. The hope that I leave you with is that you find your own way to make this place a better world than you found it, as exemplified by my Brookline neighbor's yard sign, which says, "Life is love, Black Lives Matter, science is real, women are equal." Got to digress for a moment because in my life and in my experience, women have been superior. Humans are not illegal, and kindness is everything. As to the mysteries I mentioned, officiating at a wedding in 1931, the Supreme Court Justice Benjamin Cardozo said, "3 mysteries there are in the lives of human beings: the mystery of birth at the beginning, the mystery of death at the end, but greater than either, the mystery of love." Everything that is most precious in life is a form of love. Art is a form of love if it be noble. Labor is a form of love if it be worthy. Thought is a form of love if it be inspired. Hence, I wish you nobility, I wish you worth. I wish you inspiration. And I want to remind you, lend your ears to everyone. Lend your mind to no one. Congratulations, class of 2021, and thank you very much.